Hello and welcome to this video where we analyse Act 3, Scene 4 of William Shakespeare's Macbeth. Everything you see in this video is based on the ebook, so pick up a copy by following the link in the description. Now, do you remember Banquo's words when Macbeth said to him, "Fail not our feast"? In Shakespeare's plays, feasts are symbols of social harmony and kinship, and this feast is supposed to be Macbeth's celebration feast. No matter how he came to the throne, this banquet is his chance to endear himself to his society and to make his kingship respectable. We see both Macbeth and Lady Macbeth going overboard in their effort to make everyone welcome. We see the hearty welcome, "We will require her welcome, they are welcome, be large in mirth, love and health to all." So this is Macbeth's chance to put all of the bad deeds to rest and become a good king. Banquets and feasts are such a powerful metaphor that what comes next is very significant. Firstly, the murderer arrives with his face smeared with blood. Now this can be read as a symbol that Macbeth can't hide the evil that he's indulged in to get this far. Even a man's best kept secrets will come out. The fact the murderer enters just as everyone has been seated for the feast is very important. Macbeth is unable to sit with his guests, just as he is unable to stand alongside them in society in terms of honour and respect. After Macbeth returns from speaking with the murderer who's told him that Banquo is dead, he finds his seat taken by Banquo's bloody ghost. This scene is rich both in drama and dramatic irony. Macbeth is confronted by an apparition that only he can see, and you could read that as a symptom of his guilt. He panics, he becomes hysterical, he upsets all of his guests. Lady Macbeth, in her last act of taking charge, tries to allay the guests' fears by telling them that he sometimes behaves like this. It's not anything to worry about. She says, "Sit, worthy friends, my lord is often thus, and hath been from his youth." So aside from the drama of Macbeth hallucinating in front of his guests, we also have the dramatic irony of Macbeth returning from conspiring with Banquo's murderer to find Banquo's ghost sitting in the king's seat. This echoes the prophecy from the witches that Banquo's sons will come to the throne. So for all his efforts, Macbeth's feast ends in complete disorder and disarray, which is symbolic of how he's tried to get people on his side to bring society together and failed spectacularly. The reason for his failure is the deeds he has committed to get to this point. It's been said previously by both Macbeth and Lady Macbeth that the best thing would be if they could just kill Duncan and that would be the end of it. Then they could be a good king and queen. But the death toll is rising, however, and Macbeth's poisoned mind is starting to betray him. For all his desire to fit in with the nobles and lords in his society, Macbeth's behaviour in this scene completely alienates him, and after this point he begins to crumble and feel that he is alone in the world. This scene also acts as another waypoint in the ever-changing relationship between Macbeth and his wife. She tries to rally round him at the beginning, telling the guests not to worry about her husband's strange behaviour, but by the end she's told everyone to leave, and she herself is strangely quiet. It's as if the mental strain of showing false face, which she advised her husband to do repeatedly, is exhausting her. Finally, with her spirit broken, she responds briefly and without excitement when Macbeth tells her of his future plans. She's beyond caring now, and the only time we see her after this point is in the sleepwalking scene, when we see the full torment her mind is going through. Macbeth, on the other hand, appears to be growing in his role as the murderous king. He talks, albeit wearily, about the need for further murders. From the point where Lady Macbeth urged him to kill Duncan, he has now taken the initiative and is in full charge of what they do from this point onwards. Here we have a very important image and metaphor from Shakespeare. He talks about the river of blood, how he has murdered so many people and done so much evil that he says, "I am in blood, stepped in so far," that it doesn't actually make much difference whether he stops now or continues on his current path, that should I wade no more, returning were as tedious as to go over. In other words, going back is just as hard as carrying on at this point. And this is yet another side to Macbeth. Here we have a man who his wife urged to become a man not long ago, behaving as if murder is something small and meaningless. And as he's grown in terms of his murderous nature, Lady Macbeth has shrunk. He's taken from her the evil he needs to block out his noble nature. His relationship with his wife, it appears, has completely collapsed, and there is now nothing between them as we move towards the end of Act 3 in this exciting play.